Welcome to Fictionary. I'm your host, Deitra, and I'm so glad that you're here and that you are you. If this is your first time joining me, Fictionary is a place for you to sit back, relax, and escape reality for a few moments. Today, I'm sipping on a nice warm cup of fresh apple cider. I'm not going to throw shade on pumpkin spiced everything. You know, I've been known to partake in a PSL on occasion, but I will take a stance, and I'm going to say that in the battle of the fall flavors, apple cider is the winner for me. It's just fresh and crisp and tasty. Plus, have you guys tried an apple cider donut? Have you tried it? Because if you haven't, you're missing out. That right there, my friends, is true living, okay? That is the true taste of fall. The apple cider donut, and cup of warm apple cider, delicious. So anyway, I have decided that it's time for me to foray back into the world a little bit more, and so far I have failed pretty miserably at my albeit somewhat meager and lackluster attempts. I joined a meetup. No, I'm not looking for hookups, at least not advertently, but you know what happens. I actually joined so that I can find some groups of people, or at least a group of people, or maybe a person that has similar interest and they just want to hang out. I'm looking for some friends. I tried it back in 2019 before the world officially lost its GD mind, and you know, it was fun. And then 2020 happened and everything about life was put on pause. And, you know, since we're now basically almost into 2022, like, I don't know how that happened, but it blinked and we're just a few months away from a new year. Anyway, I decided that it's time for me to take back my life. So I reactivated my Meetup account. Hello. If you're out there, you know, hit me up if you like reading, and I don't know, I'm kind of boring. Anyway, so far I've RSVP'd to about 4 events, and then I backed out at the last minute. And I don't really have any viable excuses for why I keep punking out on these meetups, other than maybe I've become just a wee bit agoraphobic in the last year. Like, I've always appreciated solitude, and I've always appreciated like the comfort of my home and my space, but I feel like that has only grown stronger, especially since I started working from home full time. And I know it's not been that long, but guys, I literally never have to leave my house if I don't want to. Like, I can get everything delivered in. I work from home. Everything I do, I can do at home. So I don't have to leave if I don't want to. And I mean, I realize that I do want to. It's just that when I get outside, I start feeling panicky, and then people get on my nerves. I feel anxious, and then I'm ready to fight with everyone that I see. And this is not normal for me. So I'm working on breaking down that anxiety that comes one outing at a time. #goals. So it's back to Meetup for me. To keep myself accountable, I'm going to be giving you guys updates on my adventures, just to prove that I'm actually going out and doing stuff. I'm going to start small, and I'm going to do a Zoom workout group that I found on Meetup, and then I'll do an actual event that requires me to leave the comfort and safety of my own home. But I'll keep you guys posted on how it goes, and hopefully it'll be fun. I don't know. I need to break out of this little rut that I've gotten myself into. But moving on to funner things, in honor of spooky season, we have to talk about a spooky, creepy something. So while it's not stereotypically spooky, it is definitely a scary look into humanity. So that's right, folks. We're going to talk about the show everyone is talking about right now, Squid Games. Hey, this is a show from South Korea, and I'm going to do a little interjection here and say, as a side note, I have been into K-dramas, K-pop, K-beauty, and Korean culture for years and years and years before anyone else liked it. I liked it before it was popular over here. Okay, I just want to make that clear. And now the rest of the world has jumped on board the train, and it's feeling a little bit crowded. But let me be gracious and say welcome to the ride, everyone. Enjoy, even though when I asked you before, hey, have you heard of this group? You guys were like, no, Super what? Super Junior, what is that? Only an amazing boy band from South Korea, but whatever. When I was like, hey, did you see Boys Over Flowers? And you guys were like, it has subtitles, nah. Whatever. I'm glad that you guys are now finally understanding the greatness that I've been trying to introduce to you repeatedly. But, woosah. Okay, so now that I've established my claim, I have no actual claim. We're going to talk about Squid Games. It's a South Korean television series that's available on Netflix, and it's a survival drama, and it centers around this ne'er-do-well character named Sung Gi-ho, and we're introduced to him, Sung Gi-hoon, and we're introduced to him, and his life is like literally in the crapper. He lives off his mother. He's a deadbeat dad. He has a gambling problem. He owes lots of money to some loan sharks. He just got the mess kicked out of him and signed off some agreement to sell his organs. Like, he's at the lowest point of his life. And this is when he gets invited to participate in these games to win some money. And so he signs on. And he has no idea where he's going or what it entails. And he's drawn by the promise of wealth, right? Money is that motivating factor for him. So, but he isn't the only one. There are a total of 456 players, including Gi-hoon, who are invited to these mysterious games. And so all of the people that wind up there, they're all in similar financial straits, and they're lured by the possible chance to win billions of won in prize money if they win 6 games over 6 days. So sounds simple enough, and they're like, explain the games are like kids games that they've played in the past. So they're like, all right, cool. So the very first game they play is red light, green light. Okay, if you guys are familiar, there's a person that's it, and when they're facing you, it's red light, and if you move, then you have to go back to the beginning, and they catch you, right? So like if you wobble or anything, they're like, oh, you moved, you have to go back to the start. And then when they turn around and their back is to you, then they yell green light, and that's your opportunity to run. But as soon as they turn back around and yell red light, you have to freeze. So easy game, innocent enough, right? That's until they actually start playing. So there's this giant robot girl who's calling the game. She has like these these crazy laser eyes where she can like scan the whole crowd and like sense any kind of movement at all. So this robot girl, she's calling the game. She turns around, and when she turns around and says red light, all of the players run. And then when she turns back around and she's facing them, they all need to freeze. And easy, right? It's fun. And you know, like we said in the normal game, you go back to the beginning if you're caught moving. Not in Squid Games, as we soon find out. If you get caught moving, you get shot dead on the spot, like dead. And so when all of the players realize this, the game isn't just a simple win or lose game, but it's life or death. Everyone goes into a craze, and they're running and all hectic and trying to escape and stuff. And the group is cut down to about half. So it's like a bloody field of terror, and you're watching, and it's just like so tense, and you're rooting for people to make it, and it's just like insane. And that's the first game, and that's as much as I'm going to tell you guys, because I want you to watch the show because it's so good. And I don't know, it really delves into the motivations of people and the heart of people. And when you watch, there's these episodes that are going to leave you shaken and questioning things. And then there's episodes that are going to make you cry. There's episodes that are going to make you rage, and some that are just going to make you think and like leave you kind of like, oh, I don't know what I just watched. And then of course there's like the blood and gore factor, because there's a lot of killing, a lot of death. Like I said, they start out with 456 players in the game. They don't end with 456 players. Enough said. Anyways, it's definitely worth a watch. I highly recommend it. I wouldn't watch it with the kids. I wouldn't let my kids watch it. just a personal opinion, like maybe teenagers, but even then, I don't know, it's a lot. But yeah, definitely not young children. Probably the most accurate description I've seen of it is Hunger Games meets Kill Bill, which is kind of pretty apt to like what happens in the story, except I don't know, it's crazy because like all of the characters, like I said, are in similar situations as Gi-hoon, our main protagonist. And you know, like last week we talked about just like how when we look at like a main character or like our quote unquote hero of a story, we're looking at them and expecting them to be these perfect people. And Gi-hoon, we're rooting for him, but you may find yourself rooting for him, or you may find yourself not rooting for him. But it's like very interesting, and it's across the board with all of the characters because they're very complex, right? Like in one instance, you're like, oh my God, you're such a jerk. And then the next instance, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I get it. Go, man, go. Or go, girl, go. But like, so I love that. I love when you can't just be straight across the board. Like, this is how this person is 100% of the time. And that's just how they are. They don't keep them stagnant. And so this is a really good show, worth the watch. And watch it with the subtitles, y'all, unless you speak Korean. Okay? Don't watch it dubbed. Dubs are the worst. Also, you guys, if you're listening to Fictionary, you're probably a reader anyway, so you probably watch shows that are subtitled. It's more fun that way to me. And I also feel like I speak Korean because I listen to it in Korean and then like read the translations. So I find myself saying things in Korean, and I don't know, people might find it offensive, but it's not disrespectful. Like, I really want to learn Korean, so I feel like it helps me to get better at it. So, you know, all right. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get into our stories for today. I'm going to be reading 3 original short fiction stories. I'll give you the title, I'll give you the genre, I'll give you the word or the character, and then I'll give you the action. And then each story is 100 words or less, and they are written by moi, yours truly. So, all right, let's get started. Do you want to build a snowman? The genre is thriller, the action is killing, and the word is warmth. I am cold again. Banshee howls twirl around me in an intimate dance, touching every part of me with ice. Crystalline exhalations reveal that I am still alive, but I will not last. Compelled by the need for warmth, I surge forward, fighting through the icy sludge and the spicule fog. I cannot see anything. The cold is devouring me whole. Salvation arrives in the form of a young man, leaving the bar alone. Lifting my knife in my frozen hand, I stab. As the blood begins to flow, the howling ceases, and warmth floods my body. The end. Ooh, y'all. Okay, so when I wrote this one, I was thinking about like serial killers, and because, you know, I've mentioned it before, but I listen to like a lot of true crime podcasts and watch like true crime shows and things like that. And I don't know, it's just like the draw that causes people to keep killing again. And in my mind, I was thinking about just how, like, maybe like they feel cold and the only time they feel warm is when they kill, right? So I don't know. That was my thoughts behind it. I was inspired by serial killers. So I hope you enjoyed. All right, let's get ready for our next story. Our next story is titled Forgiveness. The genre is parable. The word is pantry, and the action is forgiving. A young man would often visit his grandmother. He was welcome to everything in her home, except for one locked pantry. One day, as his grandmother napped, he became curious and broke the lock. Opening the pantry, he was swarmed by giant moths. As moths touched him, memories came of awful things he had done to his grandmother. Awakening, she ran to him, swatting at the pesky moths. They landed on her, and her countenance became haggard. Together, they carefully collected the stubborn moths and placed them back into the cabinet, carefully locking it once again. The end. So, I know, I just feel like I gotta explain them because they're only 100 words, but I hope that you guys got what I was trying to lay down here. But, the idea of forgiveness, when we forgive somebody, they say forgive and forget. And the reason why is because if you continually bring those things back, they destroy, right? And like moths, when they're in your home, they eat away at the materials or your fabric, right? And they're just like, they're there and they could be just like hidden, but they're destroying your clothing and you find all of these holes and things, right? And so the moths were like those memories or those things that had happened in the past that she had forgiven him for. And by reopening it and bringing them back to the forefront, all it did was try to destroy him and destroy her. So when we decide to forgive, I think it really is important to move forward from those things. And they're always there. Like, that's why she has the cabinet. They're locked away there, but you don't keep bringing it up, because every time you bring it up, all it does is erode and destroy that relationship. So that was my thoughts behind that story. All right, let's get ready for our final story of the day. Our final story is titled Finders Keepers. The genre is romantic comedy. The action is finagling a situation. And the word is pen. He broke my heart 3 years ago, and now he is standing in front of me in a crowd of reporters preparing to ask me a question. Miss Armstrong. My heart breaks anew, hearing him speak to me so formally. I look at his rottenly handsome face and decide, I want him back. I deploy my Oscar-winning acting skills and feign a sensationally dramatic faint. Before I touch the ground, he is there, breaking my fall. His arms tighten around me like old times. I wink and hold something up to him. I think you dropped your pen. The end. All right, I like this. Sometimes you have to make your own opportunities, guys. And I'm not saying lie, but, sometimes you just got to finagle a situation. You got to work the room. If you want to talk to somebody, you got to make it happen. If you want something to move forward or progress, sometimes you just gotta do a little something to make it to happen. You can't just sit around and wait for it to happen to you. So I like that. She was like, I still want him, so I'm gonna get him back. And she did what she needed to do, get back in his arms again. Well, I wonder what will happen in the future for their relationship. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the stories for today. We'll be back again next week with some new stories for you to enjoy. And, it's still spooky season, so we're going to have some spookiness. Ooh. Also, I'm about to go to a pumpkin patch with my nephew, so I'm super excited about that. Yay, pumpkin patch. You got to do at least one fall activity each week during October, because why not? But all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, keep on reading.